Hi, my name is Jill Jackson Sears. I serve as senior pastor at Lake Highlands United Methodist Church, and I'm bringing you the daily devotional today. We will be reading from 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 18. Paul writes, "For the message about the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved, it is the power of God." Now, I know there are a lot of skeptics out there who believe that to follow Jesus is foolish. I mean, why would you follow a man who did great things, who claimed to be the Son of God, but ultimately was killed on a cross? It's all about the resurrection. The resurrection of Jesus is what makes him absolutely unique as the Son of God. No one else can claim resurrection, only Jesus. And you and I know the difference that resurrection makes. Now, there are a lot of people out there who will question whether or not Jesus was actually resurrected. I have a friend named Eric Huffman. He's a pastor in the Houston area at a United Methodist Church, and he wrote this book, 40 Days of Doubt, Devotions for Skeptics. In this book, he talks about his own struggle in the Christian faith and his belief on the resurrection. Even through seminary, he believed that the resurrection was just allegorical, that it didn't necessarily happen, that it was a nice story that sounded good. But then he went on a trip to the Holy Land where he found evidence after evidence of Jesus' resurrection. He saw graffiti in the disciple Peter's house in Capernaum, where archaeologists unearthed writings that happened around the time of Jesus' death, where it was literally etched, "God, Jesus Christ," or "Christ, have mercy," Mary, Mother of God. The first Christians didn't just remember or follow Jesus the man, they worshiped him as God. He also talks about Jesus' little brother, James, who was not one of his disciples, and yet before Jesus died, James even tried to stop Jesus from preaching. He thought he was insane. After Jesus' death and resurrection, James was so convinced of his brother's divinity and of his resurrection that he was willing to die a very slow and painful death for him. The most convicting evidence, however, is how 11 ordinary guys became 10,000 committed disciples in the year following Jesus' death. And that the 10,000 became 1 million by the end of the first century, and that 1 million became 3.3 billion today. My friend Eric writes these words. He says, "I remember standing on the shore of the Sea of Galilee after weighing all the evidence and whispering to myself, 'It's real. My God, it all really happened.' It wasn't an easy thing for me to admit. I had built my reputation on the idea that I knew more about Jesus than the New Testament authors did. But once I said it out loud, I knew my life could never be the same." And that is the truth. When we get to know Jesus, when we allow his resurrection to work in powerful ways in our lives will never be the same. And that is the most powerful story of all. It is not foolish. It is power. Thanks be to God. Have a great day. Blessings on you.